My name is Nick. I have an idea for a story. I want to be a writer, and this is where I'll be writing. And as you can tell, it's a mess. So I need to clean it so I can actually use this space properly, because it's like a bomb site. So I'm now going to clean it. That's how you procrastinate. So now I have a working area, and now that I've got a really good workspace, I have no excuse to not get down and do some writing. Although I'm sure I could think of some pre-planning that needs to be done first. Okay, so I've set up the space now. I'm pretty happy with it, and I wanted to use this time to just sort of talk about some self-imposed things that I'm going to do over the course of this year that I'm going to write this book. This wasn't part of the New Year's resolution, but it's related. It's a footnote. So one of the things is that I'm going to go vegan. I'm still going to eat salmon though. So it's like slegan or vegman, vegan. Yeah. Also gluten-free, just because my family is gluten-free, dairy-free, so it's going to be gluten-free, dairy-free, plant-based, so PB, so GF, DF, PB, slegan, or GIF, DIF, PIB, slegan. Yeah. Another self-imposed sort of schedule thing I'm going to have to do is I have to have the lights out and start trying to get to sleep. I've had a long history of having pretty intense insomnia, and I think that's because I always think of something that I want to do, somewhere I want to be, people I want to be out with, or something I want to be doing, or I'm always worried that I'm kind of wasting my time if I'm asleep, which is a bad thing, because in the past my health has had a really big impact from certain lifestyle choices in the past. So this is why I need to do these schedules, which is a long way of saying what I need to do. But in order to get through the books I want to read, and in order to write this book, I'm going to spend half an hour reading and half an hour writing, which sounds like nothing. And I've certainly, in the past, when I've written essays or blogs or whatever, I've certainly just written 4 hours in a straight row. But I just can't this year because of my commitments at work and at home. So that I keep to it, I'm going to do half an hour reading, half an hour writing, probably the other way around. And according to Chuck Berry's sort of concept of writing, according to him, it's not just typing, it's planning, it's talking, it's making notes, discussion points, editing, rewriting. So half an hour of writing prose, actually writing totally new material, reading what you've done, and editing at the same time, and rewriting it. Those are all, according to him, writing and planning as well. I don't think that's a procrastination. I kind of joke that's procrastination, but I really believe you need to do that planning. Especially in my case, I'm universe building, world building. I'm kind of a fan of Frank Herbert, who wrote Dune. I actually started reading one of his called The Dosadai Experiment. I just couldn't get into it, but I read maybe up to the 4th or 5th chapter, and there's so many things going on in this book. It's like these frog people and suns that have got consciousness that talk to citizens and starting to have relationships with this person, and it's all very interesting. But the world building, I think, with Frank Herbert, I think he's very original. You look at Dune and the Navigators and Spice and all that kind of stuff. The only way that David Lynch was able to get those ideas out was by basically having someone tell the audience straight away, and having voiceovers and a lot of what Frank Herbert does is world building, and I think it's where his writing kind of falls down. I think once he gets going, it's great. It's, he's on a roll, and you already know the world, and it's so original because it's not using those old tropes and cliches of like, space battles and warp speed and stuff like that. It's all different and original. I love it. I did actually really like reading Dune, but it's not as fluid as some of the writers, and this was a bit hard to get through. Anyway, so what was I talking about? So I'm going to have to just spend half an hour reading, half an hour writing. And according to a lot of writers that I respect, writing is not just writing, typing. It can be planning, it can be editing, it can be rewriting. But I'm going to spend half an hour every day doing that. I'm going to have to do exercise. I've felt like my health has had kind of a bit of a hit in a few last years. I'm kind of getting better at regular exercise, so I need to keep that up. I was thinking about doing meditation, but I think my reading is my meditation, and there's going to be people that are going to say that I should really try it. I just don't have time, and that sounds like a real lame excuse, but there's only so many hours in the day. I have a busy job, I've got a big family life, and it's all that I can do, so my reading is my meditation. Now, there's going to be days when I don't adhere to these, or when I go out, or when I have a couple of beers with friends or something, and I go out, and I'm going to call that a zig and a zag. A zig is when, it can be either way. A zig is when you go out and you have drinks with someone, and you have a bit of a late night, and you don't manage to do the exercise that you said you were going to do, and you don't end up doing the writing or the reading that you were going to do, and you just like collapse in bed at some ridiculous hour, close to or after midnight. That's fine. I admit that's going to happen this year, but I'm not going to do it 2 nights in a row. So if I do that on a Saturday, it's not going to happen again on Sunday. Or if I do it Friday, it's not going to happen Saturday, or whatever. And I'm going to try not to have like any more than like 2 kind of late nights in a week. Okay, so if I go out Friday, I don't go out Saturday. I think that's fair. I think I can keep up with that. I have in the past perhaps overindulged in certain substances with friends. I wouldn't call it addiction really, because that's going too far, but I find it hard to say no when a friend wants to go out and they stay out probably later than someone that's got a family. So it's hard, but this is why I need to do these schedules, because otherwise I would just let things slip and continue on with particular lifestyle traits that aren't very healthy and are not conducive to actually like being lucid and writing with authority and confidence in your world. You don't want to be confused and scatterbrained when you write, I believe. I'm sure that there's people like Hunter S. Thompson, like he could write and say, yeah, but I'm not him and I'm not going for his style. So this is what's going to work for me. So that's why I need to do sort of a schedule. As well as that, in order to get this book written, I'm going to have to spend a kind of a block of just writing, not editing or anything, just writing new material every week in the weekend for 1 hour. And if I'm on a roll, 2 hours. So I'm just going to set a timer because, like I said, I've got a lot of commitments. I've got a busy job. I've got a big family life. But every weekend I'm going to be writing 1 hour. And if I'm on a roll, if things are going well, make it 2. But not any more than that. It's time to pack it up. We'll just like write quick notes or just like chapter outlines or whatever. But yeah, hopefully that will get me through. And hopefully it'll be a lot easier to keep up with that schedule in a space that is inviting and interesting. And I can't wait to do some reading with my new microphone. So yeah, hopefully this will turn out well.